So, this is the first ever Asian Persuasion MMA podcast. Myself, Leon Jennings, Akhilesh Ganadavarapu, and our special guest, Olivier Coste, one championship referee. How you doing, guys?
Very good, thank you.
All right.
So, Olivier, let's start with you. Let's tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are now.
All right. I'm going to try to make it a bit short because it's a long story. It's been a long journey, but yeah, I just arrived to Thailand about 14 years ago, and then I started with Muay Thai. That was my background as martial artist. I did Muay Thai right now for about 14 years, and then yeah, I just keep on doing this sport, for like about 7, 8 years, and then just about right now 9 years ago they had 8 years ago they had competition, MMA amateur competition. Is named Natsu. That was the first one in Thailand, and then they were doing amateur shows, and then one of my friends asking me if I could join them, to give them a help, on running the events, and then they saw that I was really into it, they saw that I have like a knowledge about the sport and everything. So on the second event, they asked me, if I wanted to be part of the referee team. So yeah, I'm someone that loves challenges, so I just agree, and then I say yes, why not, And then starting there, and then from this point, I just jumped from organization to organization, to get more experience, So yeah, then I did FMB, and then few other organization. I did MIMA as well in Malaysia, and then from that point, I 5 years ago I joined One Championship as a cage inspector. This is how I start my work with One Championship. And then, 2 years later, I just show them how motivated I was, doing my work. And then, just let them know, that I wanted to be a referee for them. And then I was really, happy that they give me the chance, to have finally, my chance to be a part of the referee team with Yuji Shimada. And then from that point, I never stopped, and everything is going well. I'm having a good feedback, about what I'm doing inside the cage, and then outside of the cage. So yeah, it's been a long journey and then a good one, and then I can't wait to continue, So yeah, that's what.
How excited are you for this Friday night, Unstoppable Dreams?
Yes, big night. Two big match, in MMA. We have another one in Muay Thai in the cage. Sam A is one of the fighters I've been following a long time. I love Muay Thai, so definitely I'm really happy to see him in the cage in One Championship. It might be a bit different, for him being in the cage, in the ring, but he's not gonna. He's an experienced fighter, so I don't think it will change anything for him. He had already one fight inside the cage, but I don't think it's gonna change him anything, to be in the ring or in the cage. He's an excellent fighter, so yeah, I really can't wait to see him, and and the brother and the sister, fighting both of them, maybe to make history, and to be the first, ever, brother and sister to be world champion, so that's pretty huge, and pretty exciting to see this, two rematch, so I just, as a referee, I'm not gonna say anything about who I can see winning the fight. I'm just there, for safety of the fighters, and that's it, I just wish the best win, and that's it.
Olivier, I also wanted to ask you about the diversity that Super Series brings in, because we have Bellator, for example, that puts on MMA fights and kickboxing fights, but not on the same card. So how does that dichotomy work when it comes to MMA plus Muay Thai on the same card?
If, for example, on the last event, I had to be a referee for MMA and the Muay Thai as well. So you have to adapt yourself, on different rules, on a lot of things, So it's sometimes be tricky, but you just have to focus. You know what you're getting into. When you use MMA, what are the rules. What you are looking for, and then Muay Thai is the same thing. I think on this card they bring in a Japanese referee that will do the kickboxing and the Muay Thai fights. So it will be for myself, I will have to only focus on the MMA. So it will be a bit more relaxing for me, and be able to focus on only MMA. So yeah.
guess you enjoyed refereeing your Muay Thai match last week in Jakarta.
Yes. Yeah, it's something that I wanted to do for a long time, but, doing it in Thailand, it wasn't easy for me, the fact that I will need, like a work permit and all those things, and plus, there is something that I will need to go in the stadium and then maybe seeing a foreigner, being asking, like, oh, can you be a referee? It would be a bit, maybe weird for them, and then, so I understand, it wouldn't be easy to give someone a chance just like that and just because he wants to, so I was really, really, thankful and very happy that One Championship gave me the opportunity, to be a referee, something that I wanted to do for a long time, 14 years in Thailand, 14 years doing Muay Thai, something I was really, really happy with, so yeah, great experience.
Otherwise, Olivier, I also wanted to ask you about something that I think resonates with a lot of people in Asia, with Angela Lee being the face of One Championship. Before, in MMA, we only saw Ronda Rousey being that. So how important do you think it is for a female athlete to be that kind of, the face of a promotion?
I think Angela, like Shatri said, she's a really full package. She's a talented fighter. She's really friendly. Smiling. I think she's a real martial artist. She's definitely giving a good image. About what is a world champion, what is MMA fighter. She's training hard. She knows that she needs to be good at any level. It's not focusing on maybe only striking or the ground. Or she's well-rounded, fighters. So she's giving a very good image about everything, about a female fighter, about the sport, about everything. So I think it's a really good thing. Very good thing.
I've got to ask you, how much can you remain an MMA fan being a referee? Do you have to distance yourself a little bit? Is it tricky?
I usually you're gonna see me rarely talk about any fights or any other things. I usually sometimes be posting pictures about me, being in the cage and then doing my job as a referee. But I don't like to usually talk about fighters' fights or anything. It's something that I always think, and I didn't have many opportunities to think of, but I see sometimes the fighters in the hotel and everything, so I of course still have to be friendly. I don't want to be like, oh, we cannot be really friends, because I don't want anything think of something inside the cage, but I always try, to have to make a bit of space in between me and the fighters. That's the way it is. I still can see them. I say hello, hi, how are you? But I will keep it like this because yes, I don't want to have anything in my mind. Changing me anything. But he won't anyways. But I still want to have that little space. With me and the fighters.
Right, and also.
Can you be?
Yeah, I just wanted to get his perspective on the Asian fans being more appreciative of grappling than the fans in the West. So does that kind of play a factor when two fighters are grappling on the ground? When do you have to know that you have to jump in and stand them up? When does that happen for you?
We have definitely, I've been watching, a lot of fights, MMA, grappling, jiu-jitsu, any kind of martial arts, so you'll be able to know when to jump in, when to stop the action, when there is no progression. We have as well commands, work to finish, improve position. So that's why we're giving them commands. And if they're not applying them, that is at the point where we will step in and, ask them to break in and stand up and then start again the fight, The thing that I have here in Asia with the grappling and jiu-jitsu, and I'm really happy that we having some Japanese fighters, Brazilian fighters, they can bring the jiu-jitsu for people that don't have knowledge about it. It might seem sometimes a bit boring, right? But for example, Naito against Alex Silva the other night, it was a crazy display of jiu-jitsu techniques. For some people that don't have knowledge about it, they might find it a bit boring and be like, what are you doing on the floor? But I think it's good, somehow that we have those kind of fights to make them understand that MMA is not only a stand-up fight. Right. It does have some ground as well. There is included, so many martial arts, So I'm glad it happens. After on my side, I have to know just when the fight is when they're working towards the techniques, they're trying to improve position, or we're just going to try to stall, and then you have a stand-up fighter taking a grappler, then you got stand-up fighter on the floor. If he's just being there, and just holding down and do nothing, I will kind of have to understand this, and I have to break, and then remind him that they have to fight, and they have to work to finish or improve position. So, yeah. But we give commands as well. That's why they need to do what we ask for. We have improve position or work to finish, and if they don't do so, then we have to break and stand them back up.
Right. Okay.
Two big talking stories over the weekend. One of them was Raquel Pennington's coach. She's at UFC 224 after the fourth round, not letting her quit. Love to hear your thoughts on that, on Jason Kutz.
I'm working with, One Championship, so I'm really focusing on all the fights going on with One Championship and all the fighters, and here in Asia, I watch sometimes, some of the other organizations' fights, but yeah, I watch these fights, and, it's so many things to say about it. It's just like, as Pennington, the first thing is she's very tough fighters, so, for her saying like she's done, it's big meaning. It's a big meaning. It means that she really felt like she was hurt. She really felt like she wanted to be out of this. And I don't want to judge anyone. This is the thing. I'm not here to judge anyone. But when you have your fighter and then how tough she is, and she's telling you, she's done. Sometimes you just have to be like, okay, you gave 4 rounds and she got beat up for 4 rounds. If it's something like maybe she want to go through a technique that she cannot do, and she's upset about herself because I want to do this but I can't. Then I understand you can push her more. You know what I mean? But when she's like kind of like I'm hurt, I'm done. Sometimes it has to be a decision. Something that I do as a referee is even there is no one's badly hurt, in between rounds, I always go see them. And I always go see both fighters, red and blue, and I always ask them, are you okay to continue? Because they will tell their opponents. They will tell their opponents they are okay, because they don't want to disappoint them. So they will tell them, yes, I am okay, yes, I can continue. But maybe if someone else, like the doctor or myself, we ask them, maybe they will be straight to us and be like, no, I don't, But on this specific things that happens with Pennington, she tell her directly to her opponent, I'm done, So yeah, I think the table should have been thrown, being honest, and that's it. I hope they will have a talk together, and then they can move forward together, and then it won't happen again. That's it. I hope it won't happen again.
Right. As a referee, do you think it would be your call to, if, for example, you saw some fighter saying that she's done to the opponent? Do you have the authority, or would you be okay to jump in and say, okay, you have your fighter said she's done and I'm stopping the fight? Can you do that?
I will definitely have a talk with the doctor.
Okay.
I will have a talk with the doctor, and then have a talk with the doctor, and then the doctor could talk, with the fighter, and then maybe have a further examination or test on the fighter, and being like if he's really able to continue. But once again, the doctor will be able to make this decision. Not it's the doctor. I cannot make the decision like this. During the fight, yes. If I feel like someone, is on the ground and getting beat up, and I feel like it's enough, yes, I have the right to. But definitely the doctor will have the last word on this, and then being like, okay, she can continue or not, Yes.
Okay.
Seems to split the MMA world, really. There's arguments for both sides, some good, some valuable ones, really. Raquel Pennington has defended Jason Kutz, saying that he done the right thing. Does it depend a little bit on the fighter-coach relationship? Some coaches will know that maybe she didn't want to quit. If she did want to quit, she maybe would have told the referee instead of telling the corner. I mean, it doesn't seem to be a definitive answer. It's a very tricky one.
It's a very tricky one, but once again, like I say, Pennington, she's tough, she's very tough, So first thing, she's very tough. Second, she went through 4 rounds of getting beat up. You know what I mean? And then now she's telling her there's 3 things. You know what I mean? There's 3 things now. Telling her coach, like, I want to quit. I'm done. You know, it's 4 rounds. You know, already. You know, you have 1 round. Like, what do you expect? Like a lucky punch, something like this. You know, move on. You know, okay, you did your best. You gave it everything. You know, we understand already. Just make her feel better about it. You know, she's already hurt. She feel already bad. She already, like, you know, in her head, she's like, what I'm doing. You know, I cannot do anything. I'm getting beat up. You know, I want to get out of here. So, you know, help her. You know, she needed help. You know, maybe someone just, like, you know, open the door for her and be like, okay, let's move on to the next one. You know, that's it.
Is there any pressure on the referees at such points or during such instances? Because if you stop the fight, then the fans kind of get angry because they want to see fights. But if you don't, it's the safety of the fighter. Is there a pressure on the referees to kind of make a judgment call at that point?
Yeah, it's a tough job. You know, it's just like you will never please anybody. It's impossible. You know. Like I say all the time, it's if you stop too early or a bit too early or a bit too late, you know, you are the worst referee ever. And if you stop when you had to, it's no more your job. So, you know, don't for anyone who just want to get into this and being a referee, or, you know, it seems like nice having the best seat in the house, and then, you know, just like I do, okay, you know, traveling the world and then doing all those things is amazing, you know, but, you know, don't try to think like, okay, everybody's gonna be, you're the referee, blah, blah. Yeah, if you be able to be consistent, if you do good, you know, but you're gonna go through a lot of amount of stress, you know. I was able, you know, by the time, you know, to control all this, you know, but it was very hard for me, you know, sometimes, even I was a bit too early, a bit too late, you know, sometimes to see all those comments being like, this referee is so bad, you know. Being honest, I was going through social media and reading all those comments, and it kind of hurts my feeling because I'm someone that's really friendly, you know, and everything, and I feel like people, they're judging me, they don't even know me, you know, why they're doing this to me, you know. But, you know, I just learned, you know, by the time, you know, how it is, you know, and now I know how it is, you know, I know how it is. I'm just doing my best, you know, to be on point every time, every fight, you know, and that's it, you know. As long as the organization is happy with what I'm doing, you know, I will continue, and I love what I'm doing, you know, so that's it.
Right, just as a follow-up, because I read your comments, I think a week ago, where you talked about some people thinking that the referees need to be entertaining rather than just refereeing a fight. Is that also an aspect that you need to control during the fights?
It's not about being entertaining. It's just being like we have this one championship is trying to have like all those signs that I make, you know, when there is something is going on. It's just we are kind of like I don't think it was me, by the way, commenting this, you know, but I just want to say that yeah, we have to be the connection in between the fights happening inside the cage and the crowd, you know. So that's why we have all those signs and everything, you know, just to let the people, especially here, people that have not much knowledge on the ground with all the jiu-jitsu and everything, like okay, it's something happening right now. So that's why we have all those signs that we do that other organizations they don't use, you know. So yeah, we can have like being the connection and making this fight, you know, like a bit more exciting, you know. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, somehow, yeah.
Oh, and then one last thing we'd just like to get your opinion on is there's another big talking point at the same event was Mackenzie Dern missing weight by 7 pounds.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? I mean, that is a big weight cut miss.
Okay. You know, one championship again. You know, they're doing great things. You know, honestly, if we have to talk about weight cut, you know, like I always say, okay, you claim to be a 145 featherweight champion, right? But my problem is that you are at 145 at the weigh-in, right? But what is your weight when you're in the cage? So what kind of featherweight are you? What kind of champion are you? Are you a champion at 145 at the weigh-in, or are you a champion at 160 when you are inside the cage? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the point that I have. Now, but once again, this is just something. But my main concern, you know, is about the safety of the fighters. You know, they already, you know, going through training. You know, when they have sparring, you know, sparring, they're already there. Somehow, don't train smart, they can hurt themselves, already doing sparring. They have inside the cage as well, and then plus now they're doing this to themselves, with weight cutting and everything, I really hope, like every organization, and I think it will happen. I honestly think that it will happen. They will all follow one championship, just to preserve the health of the fighters, because if it's done properly and if he's like 2-3 kilo, I might be okay with it. But when sometimes I can see fighters cutting like 8 kilo overnight, it's just too much. And people that doesn't know, by the over time, it's create a lot of damage to your body, So maybe now you're fine, but how are you going to be 10 years later? You know what I mean? You have to think about your after career as a fighter. You have to think about it, So this is my main concern. After that, she missed weight. I honestly, apparently she done that many times already. So I feel like it's a bit out of respect for your opponent as well. If you don't feel like you are good with this kind of weight, just go above and that's it. So yeah. It's a bit of a mix of everything, But I just wish that we won't have that things like I say. You are a champion at 66, you get into the cage at 66 and not at 75.
Right, and
I mean, I think the dangerous aspect of MMA is the weight cut. I want to just mention as well, I think one are way ahead of everyone else. For those that don't know, what are the one championship rules for weight cutting? Because for me, it's the most sensible way. I wish everyone else would follow.
Yeah, it's just what they're trying to do is it's just trying to for you being able to train and fight healthy. You know what I mean? Like being able to train and don't have to have healthy body and a healthy mind as well. Not being like focusing so much on weight cutting and then thinking about your weight constantly, and then being able, to work on your technique rather than being a small fighter entering the cage. They all focus on being like, oh, I have to be as small as I can, so then when I'm inside the cage, I'm going to be so big, But no, you rather train, have more time focusing on your training and on learning, new techniques, and then focusing on your training properly, than just focusing on what did I eat? Oh my God, I'm gonna be overweight, blah 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 blah, on those things, So I think one championship doing the right thing, with their things, just be happy, just be happy.
And do you think the promotions should take an initiative? Because if a fighter is coming 24 pounds overweight during the week of the fight, do you think the promotion should step in and say this fight cannot happen?
Oh, definitely. Even the other fighter agree. It's just the rules are the rules. Just the rules are the rules. That's what it is. It's safety for the other fighters as well. Even sometimes they I don't know, they cut the money out 20% or something like this. I think they just like be thinking about the health of the fighter, and that's what the rules do. That's what it is, So I don't think this fight should have happened. That's it.
All right.
I think they said that 39% of fighters are dehydrated on fight night. It just shows you how big the problem is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's big. It's simple. When you say them at the weigh-in, it doesn't look healthy at all. You know what I mean? Some of them look like they want to collapse. Some of them, I don't think it's healthy at all. They should go to a way where we will have a whole healthy fighters, and they won't have to, like one championship does, like they won't have to focus on other things than just training and then being the best on that night, and not just being the small fighters, at the weigh-in, and then that's it, and big again. Yeah, I think this thing has changed, but it will in the future. I'm sure it will.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think a lot of emphasis needs to be given on weight cutting, because I think it kind of transpired from the wrestling mentality in the United States, where the wrestlers had to cut weight to get into their divisions. But I think MMA needs different regulations and different rules.
Exactly. I think like more, like I said, it's already a tough sport. It's very tough. I know a lot of fighters that end up career, sometimes, they're having problems with memories and then with the eyesight and then everything, they already have those kind of problems. So if we could, by the time, make them more safe, especially with weight cutting and other things, with different rules, for example, like Pennington, if the doctor could step in and being like, okay, your fighter say no, so we're done, that's it, we cannot let it continue. She said we're done. So if we could have this, for example, the doctor comes in and then he heard the fighter say no, I'm done. Maybe giving the right to the doctor to be like, okay, for the safety of the fighters, we have to stop. She don't want to go. She do not want to go in. So if we could have, like in the future, more safety things, for all the fighters, I think that would be a good thing. You have to go through this way, rather than just being warrior's way. The problem with people with strong minds, sometimes it can lead them, to problems, because they don't want to quit. They have that mind, where they don't want to quit, and then sometimes, it's very bad for them. So if they could have the good coach with them, knows when he's enough. The coaches should be really the person should know the best their fighters. They are the ones that really should know best, than anyone else.
Right.
So yeah, coaches are very important, very important.
Right, absolutely.
That's a good point to finish on.
It was a good one.
Yeah, so thank you for being our first guest, and
yes.
look forward to having you on again.
I'm gonna see you at the fight.
Yep, I'll be there.
Thank you so much, Olivier.
Awesome.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Yeah.